life was dull until you came. I was breathless when we first met.
Hey friends, and welcome back to The Created Home. I'm Joanne. This is our Craft Wednesday segments. I usually do some sort of craft or a project or a flip of some kind on Wednesdays, and let's get into it. Hey friends, we have 4 projects today. The first one is a rag garland. I'm using cardstock to cut out 4 squares. I'm going to dovetail these squares. After I do that, I'm going to use some Dollar Tree ribbon, and I'm going to cover those squares. You can use any kind of ribbon to make this wreath. It does not have to be fall or seasonal related or holiday related. You can make a rag or it's kind of a shabby chic style garland. You can make them out of anything, really. You can find all kinds of stuff from the Dollar Tree to do that. These letters also came from the Dollar Tree. You can use stickers as well. You can hot glue stickers onto fabric too. You don't, just because they're stickers, they might fall off. They lose their wetzy over time. So, if you wanted to use stickers, just hot glue those as well. Not a big deal. But I'm using the wooden ones. I'm painting them with a copper paint that I had on hand. I'm only painting the tops of them and like the outer parameter because you're not going to see the back because I'm gluing it onto the cardstock that we just cut. And after I get these painted, we are going to start covering the cardstock with the ribbon. I'm just hot gluing it down. It is a wired ribbon, so that kind of helped hold it in place while I was, working around gluing it. And then I went back and cleaned the edges up just a little bit. I actually eyeballed the measurements of all of this, and I got it pretty close, but I did need to go back and clean it up just a little bit. But, if you have it uneven at the top or it's fraying at all, that just adds to the look, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. After I get all of them glued, I'm going to go ahead and hot glue them onto a piece of twine. And you can use twine, ribbon, whatever, and you use the length for the banner or garland that you want for you. I wanted it kind of long because I wasn't sure. I didn't measure, so I wasn't sure how long I wanted it to go on my mantle. So I made it extra long just to be on the safe side, because you can always work with extra length, but you can't always work with too short. Now that the letters are glued on and the tags are glued where I want them on the twine, we're going to get started. I have a ton of fabric to choose from, and you can pick any fabric you want. Just make sure that it's a variation. You can do at least, I would say, minimally 2 alternating. But the more that you have, the better it is, because it adds to the uniqueness of the look, but it also helps to fill in the space a lot faster. I started in the middle and worked my way out to make sure I had even distribution of the pattern, and then I hung it on the vintage mirror on my fireplace. You have not seen the living room decorate with me yet, but you will. And when you do, you might not see this because I'm filming this after the fact. But on to the next project. So I had a request, and I had already planned to do this, but Jen, this is for you. So I did gourds in my dining room decorate with me that I made over. So I'm going to show you how I did that. I'm taking a pumpkin that I got from the Goodwill. It was originally $2. It was on sale. I got it for I think $1.50 or something like that. Anyway, pick out 3 different colors. That way it gives you depth and variation of, a pattern as you're painting. Start painting it all over with a base color. And I would suggest, what I did, you're just playing with it. It really is just painting layers on. You're going to keep painting the layers, and as you layer, kind of pay attention to where you're putting the paint, so that you're not just continually painting over in a same pattern, but you're kind of sporadically going in areas with the variations of the 3 colors, if that makes sense. And as you do this and you dry, and I use a hair dryer in between. I did get a little impatient on this one though, and I just kind of waved it in the air every now and then and let it dry a little bit by itself. And then I went in with those other colors. The colors that I'm using are fawn for the lighter color, the brownish color is called milk chocolate, and the yellow color is called golden sunset. They are all from Hobby Lobby. I also go back in after the 3rd or 4th coat, and I just go in those indentations with a darker color because that's going to give me the depth. And then I blend it out by actually like hitting the pumpkin with the paintbrush. Yep, take out your frustrations and just whack that pumpkin because it's going to distribute the paint equally and weirdly, giving it this really unique look. And it's also, if you do it when it's somewhat wet, that whacking is going to pull the paint up. This is what it looks like after it's somewhat dry. And I'm going to go back and do that same thing. I'm just going to mix the paints and keep applying it. And the layers of that paint stippling and smacking are going to give it that texture that you want. And all of them are going to be unique. None of them turn out the same. Mine are not going to look identical to yours because you're going to be using your colors, your technique, and everybody's different. And that's okay. That's the whole purpose. Those last two coats, you're going to want to pay attention to kind of where you're putting those colors and what colors you're using, because this is where you're going to get that streaking that happens in natural pumpkins and gourds. There's, sometimes you can see the veining and the lines and everything like that. And this is where you're going to get that by doing this right here. So as you can see, what happens as the layering is going on is that you're getting the variations of color all throughout. And you can keep layering as often as you need to until you get the desired look that you want. I have this section over here that is a little bit more solid and less striped looking. This side is a little bit more striped. Now, being the country girl that I am, and being from the country, and being around a lot of apple orchards and pumpkin fields, I know that based on how the pumpkin lays as it's maturing, gives you that coloring. So it, depending on how it is laying and how it is being, nourished by that wonderful vitamin D from the sun, is giving and aiding to the coloring of the pumpkin. Or the gourd, or whatever it is that's on the vine. And so that's how that looks. And I'm going to leave mine as is, but like I said, you can keep going and layering as much as you need to get the effect that you want. Okay, I was wrong. We're doing 3 projects, not 4. This is the last one. So I bought several of these packages of ceramic leaf ornaments on deep clearance from Walmart after Christmas one year. They're actually a Christmas ornament. They're part of their Christmas shop line. Anyway, I bought them for $1.50. You get 4 in a pack, and like I said, I have several. So I'm only doing this with 1 pack because I like the white, and I usually use these on my gallery perfume wall in my bathroom. So I want the option of going back to the white. But I'm just going to dry brush those leftover paint colors in there. I added a little bit of the burnt orange. It's actually not burnt orange. It's technically called cinnamon color in folk art. But I'm just going to go in and add that color to the colors that I used on the pumpkin. And I'm just going to dry brush it on and bring that fall color to the leaf so that I can add fall colors into the bathroom this year rather than keeping it very neutral. I usually just do whites and creams in my master bath. But this year I wanted to add the fall colors, and we'll see how that goes. I'm just now getting around to decorating that bathroom, so we'll see how it turns out. You will get to see these. I will show you a picture of how they look on the gallery wall, but I tried not to film or take too many pictures because I want to save that for the Decorate With Me. To embellish and cover up the hole, all I'm going to do is thread some twine through that hole. And then since I have 4 leaves, I'm going to spell out fall and just add one of these Scrabble pieces to each twine string. And I'm just going to secure that with hot glue. So as we wrap up today's crafting, I want to thank you for joining me today, and I hope that these projects inspired you to take some old things from around your house that you haven't used in a while, or go look in the thrift stores for something that you can give a fresh look to and use for your seasonal decorating needs. And until next week, when we do this all again, thanks so much, and I'll see you then. Bye.